Since you were a kid, you knew you were different, not better than others, not worse, just different. Like you were placed here for a reason nobody could quite put their finger on. Like there was something you were meant to do that no school ever taught. Like you were carrying a weight that felt strangely like a gift. And no matter how hard you tried to fit in, that feeling never really went away. It followed you through childhood. It followed you through your teenage years. It followed you into adulthood. And even now, as you're watching this video, that feeling, it's still there. That quiet knowing that you are here for something important, something that only you can do. Today, I'm going to tell you what that feeling means. I'm going to share with you 6 experiences that often happen to those who are on a special mission, a purpose. Not everyone has these experiences. Not everyone was sent here with a specific purpose, but you were. And by the end of this video, you will finally have the confirmation you've been seeking your entire life. Let me start by asking you something. Have you ever felt like a stranger in your own family? Like somehow you were born into the wrong group of people, a misfit? Have you ever looked around at the world and thought, this cannot be all there is? Have you ever felt a deep longing for something you just can't name? A homesickness for a place you've never even been? If you answered yes to any of these, you're not imagining things. You're not crazy. You're not broken. You are remembering. Eckhart Tolle spoke about this in his book, A New Earth. He wrote about souls who incarnate with what he called an inner purpose. A purpose that exists beneath the surface of everyday life, beneath the daily grind. A purpose that has nothing to do with career or achievements or what society considers success. This inner purpose is about transformation, about raising consciousness, about being a certain quality of presence in the world. And if you have this purpose, you've probably felt it your entire life. Even if you could never quite put it into words, the first experience that proves you are on a special mission is that childhood knowing. From a very young age, you sensed that you were different. You may not have had the words for it. You may not have understood what it meant, but you knew. You knew that you saw things other kids did not see. You knew that you felt things other kids did not feel. You knew that the world seemed strange to you, in ways it didn't seem strange to them. Maybe you had imaginary friends that felt more real than your actual friends. Maybe you talked to animals or plants, like they could understand you. Maybe you sensed the emotions of the adults around you, even when they tried to hide them. Maybe you asked questions that made grown-ups uncomfortable. Questions about death, questions about God, questions about why things are the way they are. These were not random childhood behaviors. They were signs. Signs that you came into this life already knowing things, already connected to something bigger, already carrying a mission. I want to pause here and validate something. If you spent your childhood feeling like you didn't belong, I know how painful that was. I know how lonely it felt to be surrounded by people who didn't understand you. I know how confusing it was to sense things you couldn't explain. But that pain had a purpose. It was preparing you. It was keeping you separate enough that the world couldn't completely shape you into what it wanted you to be. It was protecting your mission. The second experience is recurring dreams. People on a special mission often have dreams that are different from ordinary dreams. They have dreams that feel more real than waking life. Dreams where they receive messages. Dreams where they meet beings who seem to know them. Dreams where they are shown things about the future or the past. Maybe you've dreamed of places you've never visited, but somehow recognize. Maybe you've dreamed of doing work that you've never done in this life, but felt completely natural. Maybe you've woken up from dreams with knowledge you didn't have before. These dreams are not random. They are Communications. They are your higher self or your soul or whatever you want to call it, sending you information, reminding you of who you really are, reminding you of what you came here to do. Tolle spoke about the difference between the dreamer and the dream. Most people are so lost in the dream of daily life that they never wake up to realize there is a dreamer behind it all. But you've had glimpses. In your sleep, you've touched a reality that is more real than this one. And those glimpses are not accidents. They are part of your training, part of your preparation for the mission you are here to fulfill. The third experience is the stranger confirmations. Throughout your life, strangers have told you things about yourself, things they couldn't possibly know, things that confirmed what you secretly believed about yourself. Maybe a stranger at a bus stop once looked at you and said something that changed your life. Maybe a psychic or a healer you visited told you things that made you cry because they were so true. Maybe someone you just met said you seem like someone who is here for a reason. These encounters are not coincidences. They are what Carl Jung called synchronicities, meaningful coincidences that are actually messages from a deeper reality. The universe was using these strangers to confirm your mission, to tell you that you are on the right path, to remind you that you are being watched over and guided. Think about the strangers who have appeared at crucial moments in your life, the ones who said exactly what you needed to hear, the ones who opened doors you didn't even know existed, the ones who seemed to recognize something in you that most people miss. These were not random meetings. These were appointments, meetings that were scheduled before you were born, people who were placed in your path specifically to help you. Remember, the fourth experience is the impossible synchronicities. Things have happened in your life that cannot be explained by chance. Connections that were too perfect. Timing that was too precise. Events that aligned in ways that seemed orchestrated by something larger than you. Maybe you thought of someone and they called you within minutes. Maybe you needed something desperately and it appeared out of nowhere. Maybe you made a decision that led to exactly where you needed to be, even though you couldn't have known it at the time. These synchronicities are signatures. They're the universe signing its name on your life. They're proof that you're not alone, that there's a force guiding you, that your mission is real, and it's being supported by powers you cannot see. Eckhart Tolle taught that when you're aligned with your inner purpose, the outer world begins to cooperate. Doors open, resources appear, people show up. Not because you forced it to happen, but because you're in the flow. You're in harmony with the larger intelligence that runs the universe, and that intelligence wants your mission to succeed. The fifth experience is the unexplainable knowing. There are things you know that you were never taught, truths you understand that you never read in any book, wisdom you carry that did not come from this lifetime. Maybe you've always known things about people just by looking at them. Maybe you understand spiritual concepts that others struggle to grasp almost instinctively. Maybe you have skills or talents that you never developed, but somehow possess. It's just there, like a dormant ability awakening. This knowing is not from your education. It's not from your experience, not in this life. It's from before. It's what you brought with you when you came here. Your soul's luggage, so to speak. It's the equipment you were given for your mission, your spiritual toolkit. Some people call this soul memory. The idea that your soul has lived many lives and carries wisdom from all of them, like layers of understanding built up over time. Whether or not you believe in past lives, the phenomenon is real. You know things. Things that you have no business knowing. Things that help you navigate situations that should be completely foreign to you, like a familiar road in a strange land. This is not luck. This is not coincidence. This is confirmation that you're not new here, that you came with preparation, that you came with a mission. The sixth experience is the persistent calling. No matter how much you try to ignore it, there's something that keeps calling you. A pull toward a certain kind of work, a pull toward a certain kind of service, a desire to give back, a pull towards something that feels like your reason for being here, your purpose. This calling might not make logical sense. It might not promise money or security or approval from others, but it will not leave you alone. It whispers to you in quiet moments when the world is still. It shows up in your daydreams, coloring your imagination. It makes you restless when you try to settle for less, like an inner compass always pointing north. This calling is not coming from your ego. Your ego wants safety and recognition and comfort, the easy path. This calling is coming from your soul, and your soul knows exactly why you're here. Tolle wrote that everyone has an outer purpose and an inner purpose. Your outer purpose is what you do in the world, your job, your roles, father, mother, friend, your activities. But your inner purpose is who you are, the quality of consciousness you bring to everything you do, the energy you radiate. People on a special mission have a particularly strong inner purpose. They're here, not just to do things, but to be something, to be a certain presence, to hold a certain frequency, to anchor a certain quality of consciousness that the world desperately needs, a beacon of hope and understanding. There's something else I need to tell you about your mission, something that most spiritual teachers never mention, something that explains a lot of the difficulty you've experienced in your life, the trials and tribulations. People on a special mission do not have easy lives. They are not protected from pain. In fact, they often experience more pain than average, more challenges, more obstacles, more moments of darkness. And this is not a mistake. This is not the universe being cruel. This is preparation. Think about it this way. If you're here to help others transform, you need to understand transformation from the inside. If you're here to help others heal, you need to know what it feels like to be wounded, to have scars. If you're here to bring light, you need to have experienced darkness to know its depths. Your struggles were not punishments. They were training. Every difficult thing you've been through has given you a tool, a specific skill, a tool you will use to help others who are going through the same thing, a shared understanding. This is why people on a mission often have difficult childhoods, difficult relationships, difficult periods of depression or anxiety or confusion, a sense of being lost. The universe was not abandoning you during those times. It was forging you. It was turning you into the person you needed to become, the strongest version of yourself, the person who can actually help. Not from theory, but from lived experience. I want to share something that might surprise you. The parts of yourself that you are most ashamed of are often the most important parts of your mission. The wounds you carry, the struggles you have faced, the things you wish had never happened, these are not obstacles to your purpose. They are doorways. They are the places where you can connect most deeply with others. They are your credentials. The healer who has never been sick cannot truly help the sick. They lack empathy. The guide who has never been lost cannot truly help the lost. They don't know the fear. The light that has never known darkness cannot truly illuminate. It doesn't understand the shadows. Your pain qualifies you. Your struggles authenticate you. Your wounds are exactly what make you able to help others heal theirs. You've been there too. Now let me address something else that people on a mission often experience: isolation, a profound sense of being alone, even in the middle of crowds, a disconnect, a feeling that nobody truly understands you, a longing for connection that never seems to be fully satisfied, an unfulfilled need. If you have felt this, you are not broken. You are simply operating at a different frequency than most people's around you, vibrating higher. You are tuned to a station that most people cannot hear, a more nuanced channel. And while this can be lonely, it is also part of your design. You were made to see what others miss, the subtleties, to feel what others block, the unspoken emotions, to know what others ignore, the underlying truths. This sensitivity is not a flaw. It is your equipment, your greatest strength. But here is what I want you to understand. You are not meant to stay isolated forever. Part of your mission is to find your people, the others, like you, the fellow travelers on this unique path, the ones who hear the same frequency, the kindred spirits. And when you find them, the loneliness begins to heal. Not because you become less different, but because you discover that difference is not the same as alone. Look for them in unexpected places. Sometimes they are strangers. You meet briefly, a fleeting connection. Sometimes they are old friends you suddenly see in a new light. Sometimes they are people you connect with through videos like this one. The universe is always arranging meetings, orchestrating encounters, always bringing together the souls who need to find each other, to support and uplift one another. Trust that your people, your tribe, are also looking for you, and that you will recognize each other instantly when you finally meet. Now, there's another crucial aspect of this mission I want to address: doubt. Even the most driven individuals, those with an unwavering sense of purpose, experience moments of doubt, moments when they secretly wonder, am I just making this all up? Moments when they feel like a total fraud. Moments when their grand mission feels like nothing more than a fantasy crafted by their ego to feel important, special. If you're wrestling with these doubts, know that it's perfectly normal. In fact, it's actually a sign of health. See, the ego craves certainty. It needs to be absolutely positively sure that it's special, chosen, important. But the soul, the essence of who you are, doesn't need certainty. The soul operates on faith, on unwavering trust, on a deep intrinsic knowing that requires no external proof. The doubt you're feeling, that's the constant tension, the push and pull between your ego and your soul. Your ego demands guarantees, ironclad promises, but your soul knows that's simply not how this all works. Your soul understands that you forge the path by walking it, not by having some preordained, perfectly detailed map laid out in advance. So, when doubt inevitably creeps in, don't fight it. Don't pretend you're more certain than you actually are. Simply notice the doubt acknowledge it, and then, gently, return to the calling, that unwavering sense of purpose, the calling that refuses to leave you alone, the calling that persists, despite every single doubt you might have. That persistence, that's the real proof. Not the absence of doubt, but the persistent presence of that calling that survives the doubt. Now, I want to discuss something else that's incredibly important. You might be listening to all of this and feeling incredibly validated, thinking, finally, someone understands. Someone is confirming what I've always known deep down. But you might also be feeling a gnawing sense of fear. What if I fail my mission? What if I can't figure out what I'm supposed to do? What if I just waste this entire life? Here's what you need to understand. You cannot fail your mission. It's literally impossible, because your mission isn't about doing something specific, achieving some grand accomplishment. It's about being something specific. It's about the consciousness you hold, the light you carry, the awareness you bring to every single moment, the presence you embody. Every time you choose love over fear, you are fulfilling your mission. Every time you choose consciousness over unconsciousness, you are fulfilling your mission. Every time you choose presence over reactivity, you are fulfilling your mission. You don't need to concoct some elaborate scheme. You don't need to build anything spectacular, life-altering. You just need to be who you truly are. And that is enough. That is everything. But here's a deeper truth to consider. Most people on a unique mission also have specific things they are meant to do, work they are destined to create, people they are meant to help, to lift up, messages they are meant to share, to amplify. So, how do you actually know what those things are? You follow the calling, the breadcrumbs that life leaves for you. You pay close attention to what lights you up, what ignites your soul. You notice what you simply can't stop thinking about, what obsesses you. You trust the synchronicities, those seemingly random coincidences that are guiding you. The universe isn't going to hand you a detailed instruction manual, step by step, but it will give you signs. It will give you gentle nudges. It will give you powerful feelings, intuitive hits. And if you learn to trust these subtle communications, your path will unfold organically, not all at once, in some overwhelming epiphany, not in a way that completely eliminates all uncertainty. That's not the point, but step by step, moment by moment, exactly as it's meant to. I want to share a simple practice that will help you connect more deeply with the heart of your mission. It's called the remembering practice. Here's how it works. Close your eyes gently. Take 3 deep breaths, in and out. Now, ask yourself this question. Before I was born, what did I desire to experience in this life? Don't try to think your way to an answer. Force it. Just sit quietly with the question. Let it sink deep into you. And simply notice what arises. You might get vivid images. You might experience intense feelings. You might receive simple words, phrases. You might even access memories of long-forgotten things you wanted as a kid, before the world told you what you should want. Trust, whatever comes, even if it feels silly, this is your soul speaking to you. This is your mission, trying to gently remind you of itself. Do this practice regularly, not to force answers, but to open a channel between your everyday, overly analytical mind and the deeper part of you that knows exactly why you are here. The more you practice, the clearer the communications will become. The more confident you'll feel about your path, your direction, the more aligned your life will become with your true purpose. Now, let me share one more practice that's helped countless people connect with their unique mission. It's called the Legacy Meditation. Here's how it works. Close your eyes. Imagine that you are at the very end of your life. You're incredibly old, silver-haired, wise. You're looking back, reflecting at everything you've lived. Now, ask yourself, what do I want to have contributed? What do I want people to remember about me? What do I want to have given to the world? Don't answer from your ego. Don't think about superficial things like fame or monumental achievements or widespread recognition. Think about impact. Think about the lives you touched. Think about the consciousness you held, the light you shined. Think about the love you gave, the kindness you extended. What truly matters most when you look back from that perspective. Whatever arises for you is a vital clue. A clue about your mission. A clue about what really matters to your soul. A clue about how you are meant to spend your precious time here. Trust what arises. Even if it completely surprises you, even if it's vastly different from what you expected, your soul knows things your mind has long forgotten. Before I continue, I want to say something directly to you. You are not here by accident. You didn't just randomly happen, a cosmic fluke. You were specifically chosen, not because you're inherently better than anyone else. That's not it at all. But because you volunteered somewhere before this life even began, you raised your hand. You said, I'll go, I'll help, I'll be part of the transformation, part of the solution. And here you are, doing exactly what you said you would do, even when you don't consciously remember saying it. This is a crucial distinction to grasp. Your mission, it's not about hierarchy. It's not about somehow being above anyone else, in some superior position. It's fundamentally about service. The most awakened souls on this planet don't think of themselves as special or elevated. They think of themselves as servants, humble contributors. They've completely let go of the ego's insatiable need for recognition. They've relinquished the desperate need to be seen as important or significant. They simply, quietly, consistently do what they came here to do, with unwavering love and selfless dedication. This is the inherent paradox of the mission. To truly fulfill it, you must stop trying so desperately to be special, to stand out. You must essentially become nobody. You must let go of that relentless ego that craves credit and validation. And in that surrender, in that profound letting go, something truly amazing happens. You become more effective than ever before, because your ego, are no longer in the way. Because the mission, your unique purpose, can flow through you, unobstructed. Because you've become a clear channel for something bigger than yourself. Eckhart Tolle, he spoke about this often. He said that true power comes not from the ego, but from presence, from being so connected to the present moment that the past and future no longer control you. From being so aligned with what is, that you become an instrument of transformation. This is what your mission asks of you, not to be great, but to be present, not to achieve something, but to be something. If this video has helped you recognize yourself, and if you want to support the creation of more content for awakening souls, the Super Thanks button below is a way to do just that. Every contribution helps me continue this work. Every contribution is an acknowledgement that we are in this together, that we recognize each other, that we are fellow travelers on the same mission. Thank you to everyone who has contributed. You are not alone, and neither am I. Now let me share one final thought. that brings everything together. Remember when I said at the beginning that you have always known you were different? Here is the truth about that knowing. It was never about being better. It was never about being special, in the way the ego wants to be special. It was about being awake. It was about being one of the souls who came here specifically to help humanity through this transition. We are living in extraordinary times. Consciousness is shifting on a global level. Old structures are breaking down. New ways of being are emerging, and souls like you are here to help midwife this transformation, not by fighting against the old, but by embodying the new, by being the presence, by holding the frequency, by living from a different place. This is your mission. It has always been your mission, and everything in your life has been preparing you for it. The pain you experienced, the loneliness you felt, the differences that set you apart, all of it was training. All of it was initiation. All of it was making you strong enough to do what you came here to do. In the next video, I am going to talk about something that many people on a mission struggle with. Why you explode with the people you love most. The hidden reason behind your most painful conflicts, and how understanding it can finally bring you peace. Subscribe and turn on notifications so you see it when it is released. Now I want to hear from you. In the comments below, tell me which of the 6 experiences resonated with you most. Was it the childhood knowing, the recurring dreams, the stranger confirmations, the impossible synchronicities, the unexplainable knowing, or the persistent calling? Share your story, because every time one of us shares, we help others recognize themselves, and that recognition is part of the mission. Remember this: you were chosen, not for punishment, not for burden, but for purpose. You are here for a reason. The universe knows your name, and it has been waiting for you to remember. Today, you remembered a little more. Tomorrow, you will remember even more. And one day you will look back at this moment and realize it was part of the plan. You are not alone. You have never been alone, and the mission you carry is more important than you know. Trust yourself, trust the signs, trust the calling that will not leave you alone. It knows the way, and so do you. I will see you in the next video. Until then, remember who you are. You are here on purpose, and the world needs what only you can give.